maybe.
Hey, I got something to show you guys. Take a look. It is spring. Happy spring to all of you. Take a look at what we have here for you from AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Beautiful spring scent candles here for you. Hand poured with premium fragrance and essential oils. How about this? Our coconut soy wax candles bring fresh, uplifting spring scents to your home. Made with clean, natural ingredients, they're a mindful choice for sensitive spaces and those who love effortless seasonal fragrances. You got to check it out right now. There's the soft bloom and the lemon bar candles, all healthy ingredients, all from AlleyRoseFragrances.com. And if you're a first-time customer, use the promo code InsideEdge20. That's InsideEdge20. Get this for yourself, for your friends, family, everyone. You want a good smelling home, AlleyRoseFragrances.com will make it happen. Again, AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Get the new spring candles. And when you order, if you're a first-time customer, Inside Edge 20 is the promo code.
All right, and welcome in. Hey, get off there. Hey, we don't know what's going on today, but we already have technical difficulties. Welcome to another episode of Illegal Formation right here on the Inside Edge Network. You heard Double A. You want a good smelling home? Alley Rose? Make it happen, man. Just visit the QR code over there. You see it over on the right side of the screen by TK. That'll take you to our partner page. You can visit any of our sponsors. You can order anything that you need through any of our sponsors, including any Alley Rose fragrance candles that you need to make your home a good smelling. TK, we got a lot to do, man. First of all, how are you, man? It's the weekend. It's Saturday, TK. How's it go, man?
Doing all right, man. Very eventful past couple days to have gone through. So yeah, forgive me if I'm a little jet lagged this morning, but yeah, it's been very eventful, and the fun's gonna conclude today, I think. So definitely looking forward to day 3 of the draft.
Yeah, day 1 and day 2 have gone pretty well for our Cleveland Browns. We'll get to that in a little bit. First, a couple of quick notes. I want to say today is my 17th wedding anniversary, man. My wife and I have been married for 17 years as of today. Thank you. I appreciate that. I know you're laughing because you can't believe that someone would stay married to me for 17 years. Believe me, I feel the same way. Blessed, very, very lucky. Very, very blessed that she's stuck with me through all these years. So happy anniversary to my wife. And second, I wanted to tell a quick story. So last night we were hanging out, we were watching some TV, whatever. It was late, and you get tired. It's late. She was falling asleep a little bit, and I was kind of sleepy, whatever. I got up and I said, I could use some water. I got up and walked to the kitchen. And TK, here's the thing, right? So we have a back screen door. It's got it's not a little, it's a pretty significant rip on the bottom left side, right?
Yeah.
It's become a joke, man. The screen door is in bad shape, but we're like, let's just see how long we can rock with this thing until it finally just really falls off the right, like literally falls off the right? So I keep telling my kids to keep an eye, man. You got the door open, whatever, you got the screen door closed. That screen is basically nothing. It's like a bird's gonna fly in here, an animal eventually is gonna come in, right? So I tell them all the time, just kind of jokingly, to keep your eye out. So I'm going to get some water last night. I walk through the kitchen. I look over on the counter where we sit, where we eat our dinner and lunch, whatever. And so we have like a little island. And I looked and I'm like, man. So my kids will bring anything into the house, right? They'll bring rocks, sticks. They'll bring in dandelions and put them in a cup of water all the time. You see, like, just different stuff in the house. And I appreciate it, man. They're foragers, right? They like to go out and collect stuff. So I look over and I'm like, man, that's a weird looking rock. That rock is like, the shape of that rock is crazy on the counter. I'm like, that's weird. And I'm like, it's so close to the edge. How's it not falling off, right? So as I'm walking back over with my water, I'm looking at the rock, and the rock turns its head and looks at me. And it was a frog, man. It was a pretty significantly, like, pretty big frog sitting there on the counter, man. And I'm like, okay.
Wow.
He was still in there watching TV with us. I mean, he was like facing the TV and everything. He looked pretty comfortable. I didn't want to move him at first, but I'm like, I got to get him out of here. My wife's going to freak out. I'm a fan of amphibians, right? I get it. I mean, the benefits, right? He eats the bugs. He's doing great. He's not bothering us at all. And I'm like, oh, I got to escort my dude out of here. So I tried to grab him. He was a little too quick. He jumped up and stuck to the wall, and he was fine. He made his way to the back door, and he eventually hopped out. He was good to go. He went out in the rain. I'm sure he was happy. Whatever. The story ended with a happy ending. He got out of there. But it was really funny, man. Just like that moment when that rock turned its head and looked at me, I was like, oh, all right, that's not a rock. So yeah, shout out to my kids for bringing some fun stuff, but at least never brought in a frog. My wife will be happy about that. But that was pretty funny last night, man. So it wasn't really a shocking moment, but it was really surprising.
That'll definitely give you a jolt.
Sure.
Wasn't expected. Huh?
Yeah, especially half asleep. I look over and I see a frog on the counter. So that's how my weekend is going so far. We're going to celebrate the anniversary later. We got some to go out to dinner. But all that aside, we got to talk about the Cleveland Browns. We got to talk about the NFL draft. That's really all we're doing today. Today is a draft reaction kind of a day, man. That's what we're going to do. And I think the Browns, without really revealing my take on the whole draft, I think they're doing okay right now. I think they're doing okay. Let's jump into the first round, because I think there were a lot of people, maybe I won't say shocked, right, at the first pick, but a lot of people were a little confused. So we'll just bring it up here. And this the graphics are courtesy of the Cleveland Browns web. ClevelandBrowns.com is where I got this stuff. Spencer Fano with that first pick. They traded back with Kansas City, right? And some, I don't know, some information came out during the draft that Fano was the guy all along. They felt like they could trade back, and I don't know if Carnell Tate changed anything. We didn't hear that Carnell Tate was the target at all. We heard that Fano was the guy. That was the guy they were targeting with 6. They felt like they could move back and still get him at 9. So they traded with Kansas City. They moved back. Kansas City maybe reached a little bit with that 6th pick, but I guess we'll decide all that in 2 or 3 or 4 years when we see these guys on the field for a while. But so anyway, the 9th pick of the draft, the Browns take Spencer Fano out of Utah. A guy that has played some left tackle. He moved over to right, because the Caleb Lowe move. I won't say he moved him out of there, but we'll say it this way: Fano seems to project as a more versatile kind of a player, right? I've heard he can play left tackle, he can play right tackle, he can move inside, he can pop in and play guard. Probably not center, but really almost any position on the offensive line. That's good, right? That's versatile. You want versatile.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how do we feel about Spencer Fano? I know we talked a little bit about it on the by the way, the draft special. Ryan and David, I wanted to say this. Ryan Moss or David Cahoon did an amazing job on the draft special. They were on for, I think, about, 37 hours that night? It felt like 37 hours sitting here producing it. The speed of the draft, TK.
Yeah.
The rate at which those picks came in, and the trades, it was wild. It was fun to keep up with. It was so much fun producing that for them. But they did an absolutely amazing job on camera. That was awesome. So shout out to Ryan and David, the commissioner's couch, for that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, Spencer Fano. How do we feel about Spencer Fano? You've had a couple days to think about this. I know initially you were like, hey, I don't even know if we got the best lineman in the draft. But we took the first one. How are we feeling now? It's Saturday. We feeling any better?
Yeah, I definitely am. I definitely think the biggest part of my crash out was basically the sting of losing out on Carnell Tate. I think I was still a little upset about that. The Tennessee Titans stole my dream. So, I really can't get mad at, our front office or them for what they decided to do with the 4th overall pick. I said it myself. I would have made him a top 3 pick. Arizona just happened to have the 3rd overall pick, and they already have an Ohio State wide receiver who they took 4th overall a couple years ago, who they're still trying to figure things out with. So anyway, with Spencer Fano, granted, I did say he was not the best tackle in this draft. I still do believe that Francis Mauigoa is slightly better than him. However, I do think Spencer Fano is a very good talent, especially with the versatility that you spoke of. Not a lot of people talk about this, but he actually took a few reps at the combine at center to further cement the fact that he is an extremely versatile lineman. We may have another little Bruce Matthews on our hands. Who knows? But yeah, the versatility with Fano is what turns you on the most. And the fact that he does have experience as a left tackle while being at the University of Utah. I understand, Caleb Lomu came in, as the pure left tackle, and they really didn't want to try to make him do anything that he had never done before. Spencer had in the past before he willingly went over there to the right side and solidified that right side. So, for him to come in to our program and be our left tackle, I think this is definitely a new beginning for him that he was excited for. I definitely think he missed playing left tackle. You saw how emotional he was during the draft call. You saw how happy he was with his family, all the embracing that was going on. And of course, the backflip into the pool. I mean, listen, at 6'6", 6'7", 310 pounds. I mean, my goodness, to have that athletic of a guy, basically to be your anchor for the next 10 years, hopefully. This is definitely a solid pick. This is a good thing for us. Not necessarily the flash that we may have wanted. I definitely think us Browns fans are Ohio State homers to a fault. To a fault almost.
Yeah, maybe.
And I am guilty of that. But at the same time, Ohio State players tend to make great NFL players. But anyway, that's beside the point. I definitely think, after you take some time to stew on it, yes, the wide receiver probably should have been the top target. But at the same time, if the guy that you love wasn't there, you're obviously going to go ahead and pivot. And, you kind of fleece KC with the trade to go from 6 to 9. I would have loved it if they found a way to get that 29th overall pick. I'm still harping about that. If they would have figured out a way to get that 29th overall pick, I thought that would have been splendid. But still, you get a 3rd and a 5th along with swapping spots. You only drop down 3 spots. They wanted Spencer Fano the entire time. I like to think that if Carnell Tate was there at 6, that they would have taken him. I really don't think that would have been the case. It would have made sense, but I just think that they were very invested in getting this offensive line completed. And Andrew Berry knew that this, other than the Deshaun Watson trade, was the Achilles heel of the process of him being the general manager, being ridiculed, I should say. Because, there was a number of years where you just completely ignored the offensive line. I mean, sure, you had a Zach Center selection here, Luke Weipler there, but overall, the offensive line was aging. Those guys were starting to lose power. Remember, we talked about well-respected veterans Joe Batonio and Wyatt Teller.
Yeah.
Both regressing right before our eyes, and it was painful to watch. So, you wanted to, kickstart the draft with the completion of your starting unit with the offensive line. So, hey, listen, you did the right thing in regards to that. You stayed inside the top 10. You got the tackle that you wanted. Granted, whether or not he's the absolute best still remains to be seen. I understand why they may have valued Fano over Maui Noah as much as I may have liked him. Maui Noah is more so of the strict right tackle. Can he play left? Yeah, a little bit, but he definitely shined as the right side guy for the University of Miami. So I really don't think they want to mess with that. I definitely think the New York Giants are going to exercise him at guard first. Because remember, they re-signed Jermaine Illuminor, who was their starting right tackle for the past couple seasons. Very solid right tackle indeed. So they're going to leave the veteran there. They're probably going to go ahead and plug Maui Noah at either guard spot. Definitely think it would make sense to put him at right guard instead of having Evan Neal continue to embarrass himself on the football field, period, regardless of what position he plays. So, yeah, obviously time will tell, but I do love the fact that we got the tackle that we actually wanted. It seems like the brass really loves Spencer Phantom. And now you got your blind side protector, and we can roll on with the cohesive unit of Tevin Jenkins, uh, Titus Howard, Elton Jenkins, Zion Johnson, and now the 9th overall pick, Spencer Phantom. I think that's a solid unit. I remember I crapped on the Zion Johnson signing earlier this year. Listen, it could have been way worse. I definitely thought he had the best season of his young pro career last year. Only gave up 3 sacks.
Yeah,
he has some versatility as well, but I definitely think if you're smart, you tell Elgin Jenkins, hey, listen, we know that you played all over the offensive line. You're a black Bruce Matthews, but we don't need that right now. I need you in the middle, buddy. I need you in the middle, talking to the quarterback, pointing out the blitzes, and disguising all of that, being in charge of the plays and all that good stuff. That's what we need you to do. You need to let these young guys grow around you, especially this young cat, Spencer Phantom, and we're going to be just fine. I really love the way this offensive line looks right now. Big shout out to Andrew Berry. I know I've been his absolute biggest critic as of late, and rightfully so. But right now, it just seems like I'm just being a little bit of a bully now. So I need to lay off, and I definitely will give him his flowers for being able to pivot and still get the guy that he thought was best for this team. And all in all, I definitely think it will pan out for us.
Yeah, don't be a bully, TK. Don't be a bully. Well, the Browns through free agency and trades and now the draft. I mean, the Browns have added some versatility and some depth to that offensive line. And it's unfortunate that it was let go for so long. I mean, Andrew Berry, it seems like a little bit of a kind of a panic reaction, but you're forced into action here through a lot of different things. And I think it's gone pretty well. They wouldn't be done yet. They would add another offensive lineman in the draft, but we'll get to that in a moment because we got to move to now we're in the wide receiver portion of the draft. TK, a lot. This was a polarizing pick, I think, for a lot of people. KC Concepcion, right out of Texas A&M, was the 24th pick in the first round. So, a lot of people are I guess, struggling with drops a little bit from Concepcion. That's been kind of a thing. I saw, and I don't know if this is true. I actually didn't have time to verify this, but I saw someone that commented and said they were a Texas A&M fan, and they said that a lot of Aggie fans called him No Recepcion. It doesn't make me feel great.
What the hell?
Doesn't make me feel great. But I think Casey's a guy who, and we can talk about the next pick in a moment, but I think now that we know what we know about how the draft shook out, maybe for some people it felt like a little bit of a reach, but I think we saw a team in the playoffs, a certain team, right, that had some success, and they had a really, really good kick returner, right? Good punt returner, good kick returner, and they won the Super Bowl, the Seattle Seahawks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you pick up a guy in Concepcion that I think can be a really good returner, and why would you take a kick returner at the 24th pick, right? Well, he's not just a kick returner. And I know, I see the comment. I know they drafted a kick returner at 24. It's ridiculous. But I think he can also do some things on the inside. You don't have to send him on fly routes and have him catch, 30, 35-yard, pass, whatever. I think he can catch a slant, right? I mean, he can get open on a quick slant and catch the ball. You can be creative about the way you get him the ball in space. He can work out of that slot, and you can just literally just throw swing pads, whatever. We talk end arounds, everything. You can get Concepcion the ball, and I think he's dangerous with the ball in his hands. You probably would have liked them to pick someone here with the 24th pick that would have fit more of that wide receiver one mold, I think. As long as you get a guy who's serviceable to the offense and can contribute for years here, then hey, that's fine. I guess we'll look back on it, hopefully, and say, come on, man, Corey Gary, that's funny. Anyway, I'm just reading the comments, but yeah, I don't know. I think that Concepcion's an okay pick. I like it. I like the chip on his shoulder. I think he's got some competitiveness. He's got some fire. We just have to. We've done this before with wide receivers with drop problems, so it makes me nervous. I like KC as a person. I struggle with him as a receiver a little bit. TK, I know we talked about a little bit the drops or whatever. I mean, I don't know. Is this gonna? Do you think that that's what the Browns saw him as, a kick returner, slot guy, weapon in space, kind of a player?
Well, I'm going to say this based on how I feel about this. I definitely look at KC Concepcion and I see, just like you had mentioned earlier, a bit of Rashid Shaheed in him, a little bit of Percy Harvin in him, two former Seattle Seahawks gadget guys that shined in the Super Bowl. I definitely think KC Concepcion can be that guy. Now, listen, the drops obviously are going to traumatize the hell out of us because our number one wide receiver has dropped 23 passes over the past 2 seasons. Not to mention, we have been in the top 5 in drops for the past 3 seasons. So I understand where some of the fan base is like, whoa, all right, now we're adding to our drop problem. What is going on here? But hold up now. With the versatility in the special teams game that he also has versatility as a receiver. A lot of people forget about his first 2 years at North Carolina State, where he played primarily in the slot, but was still very effective. First year as a freshman, 72 receptions and 10 touchdowns. Then he goes to Texas A&M in his junior year of college. Now he's playing a majority of the snaps on the outside, winning on the outside, getting contested catches. He's still doing all the gadget stuff, the end arounds, the screens, all that good stuff. He's still returning punts. He's still very efficient. Averaged nearly 18 yards a punt return while at Texas A&M this past season.
Yeah.
I think what the Cleveland Browns saw was an explosive young man that can contribute in more facets of the game than just being that wide receiver. Is he the WR1? Absolutely not. The big thing that I thought about after day 1 of the draft, and we took KC Concepcion, I'm thinking to myself, okay, good player, but overall, man, we got some pipsqueaks in this receiving core. And, size necessarily isn't everything. That's what she said with her line behind. But at the same time, it's like you got all of these miniature guys that are under 6 feet trying to make plays for you out on the perimeter. Your lead receiver, he's 5'11". Tillman, I think, is 5'11" as well. Gage Larvadan is 5'8", more close to 5'6". So, you got all these small guys, and KC Concepcion, he's about 5'10", 5'11", barely 200 pounds. I think he's 197 right now. So yeah, you got some small guys on the perimeter that you are looking to make plays for you. But at the same time, with this guy, you kind of add to that explosiveness. I do believe that we have a little bit of explosion on our receiving core. Isaiah Bond is obviously the intriguing prospect. I'm expecting a big step up from him next year. Malachi Corley looked very explosive. Just about every time we would run that end around with him, you saw how hard he ran. He hits that hole hard. He's almost like a running back, man. So we got some explosive guys here. But with a guy like Concepcion, who is OP explosive, especially with the value that he brings in the return game, you got yourself an OW. Don't worry about whether or not he's a WR1 or WR2. I definitely think he could fill in at those certain spots. Maybe not a guy that you want at that position for 17 games, but I definitely think the explosiveness that he possesses will help him if he is indeed the number 1 or 2 receiver on this team. Obviously, which I don't think will happen, but
but I think the best thing about Concepcion, I think, is you can have a guy that if the offensive line doesn't pan out, right? And I'm not saying they don't pan out. Guys are going to play well. I mean, you've got some good players on the offensive line, but if they're not, able to protect Shedeur Sanders as expected or as hoped or whatever you would say, I think you've got Concepcion as a guy who can get open early in routes, right? He can, like you said, you get him the ball quickly. You don't have to worry about Shedeur Sanders or whoever the quarterback is. I'm
absolutely.
I'm just whoever's back there. You don't have to worry about them running for their lives and having less than 2 seconds in the pocket to find a guy. If we're just throwing swing passes, end arounds, or whatever, we're getting the ball to Concepcion quickly. Then I think that's an advantage as well. And I think he is a good kick returner. Maybe a little bit of a reach at 24, but yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think that not the wide receiver 1, not the wide receiver 2, but kind of a multifaceted, like almost like a Swiss Army knife of an offensive weapon a little bit, who you can use in special teams as well. Browns really haven't had a guy like this. So as long as they can figure out how to deploy him as a weapon, then and I don't know, do we trust Todd Monken to figure that out, more than Kevin Stefanski did? We never, like I said, we didn't really have a guy like this, but we also, special teams was almost non-existent during Kevin Stefanski's tenure here. So other than just having a decent punter, a good punter, I should say. We had a good punter, but that's about it, right? Other than that, special teams was, really, really shaky during Kevin Stefanski's tenure. So
special teams was an absolute nightmare last year.
Yeah. I tried to be politically correct about it and try to be nice, man. But yeah, you're right. It was a nightmare. It was bad.
It really was.
So, well, that's okay. And Concepcion, not the wide receiver 1, not the wide receiver 2. That's okay. Because after the first round, the Browns would address that. And we're going to address that in just a moment. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. We'll talk about, day 2 of the draft. We'll talk about, and this is where it shouldn't be like this, but this is where it really gets exciting. I think day 2 is where the Browns really, really picked up some value. And especially just a couple of guys that came in that day 2. So we'll get to that in a moment. As I said, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. We'll be right back here on Illegal Formation on the Inside Edge Network. Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. Hey, we're back. We're back on Illegal Formation right here on the Inside Edge Network. Man, speaking of getting your heart pumping, day 2 of the draft. I was trying to pay attention and got my heart pumping a little bit, TK. I thought, all right, the Browns made some moves. And, just trading around, moving up, moving back, whatever, getting some better picks. Right now, we're getting ready to start the 4th round. We're the 4th round. Well, the 4th round is actually going on right now, I believe, isn't it? Are we in the 4th round?
Yeah, we're in 12.
It has started, yes. Well, it's the next pick is round 4, pick 4. So I think there's a few picks in right now. I'm trying to keep my eye on that and everything else as it goes on. Let me look. No, never mind. That's not true. It does start at 12. You're right. I don't know what time it is. I have no idea what's going on, but that's okay. Yeah. Anyway, the second day of the draft, I think was great for the Browns. Browns don't have a 4th round pick, so I wonder, they've got a few 5th rounders. I wonder if they'll try to package something together. Maybe a player. We talked about possibly Jerry Jeudy. Who knows? To get up into the 4th round to get something going on, right? That would be good. He doesn't seem to be happy here, so maybe that's best for both sides. If that's something that happens, who knows? We'll see what happens. We'll see what goes on during the day here. We'll keep an eye on that. But as I said, day 2, this was the big one for me. Really, these next 2 picks are fantastic for the Browns. I'm just gonna bring it up. 2nd round. Pick number 39 overall, Denzel Boston. Amazing pick. Wide receiver out of Washington. Big guy, 6'3", 6'4". Here's your outside height. Here's your outside size. Here's the guy I think who can come in and possibly compete, be the wide receiver 1 here. And it immediately makes you look at the Casey Concepcion pick and go, okay, yeah, he came first. That's fine. You would typically expect more out of him, but the Browns now have a couple of guys that can be really, really creative with as far as the offense goes, as far as play calling, as far as Todd Monken getting his hands on this offense and coming in here and changing things around. And finally, you remember last week, not last week, but last year, how long did it take? Didn't the Browns have 13 or 14 straight games from last season from 2 seasons ago to last season before they even scored 20 points? So you had to address this. Denzel Boston, I think does a great job of addressing that problem. I think it gives the Browns a little bit of versatility on the outside now. You've got him and Casey Concepcion you can do a lot of things with. How do you feel about Denzel Boston?
This was the pick that got me out of my seat. I was extremely happy that we doubled down on the wide receiver. And even more so of us doubling down on the receiver, we didn't get the same type of receiver. We finally got some damn size in that receiving room. Glory be to God.
And not in the 4th or 5th round. A guy who's a 2nd round, who could have been a 1st rounder, I think.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yes. Very good pick here. Listen, this is a guy that is 6'4". He's 215 pounds. He has very good hands, solid route runner. I think his speed is a little bit slept on because of how big of a guy he is at his position. Listen, this is our supposed WR1 for the future. Now, if he can become that sooner, preferably this year, that would be outstanding. But this was the pick that had me feeling so much better after all that crashing out I did Thursday night. Basically because I was hurt and because I was still crying that the Titans stole my dream. Well, whatever. This pick, man, listen, I reiterate, man, I was stunned to see Andrew Berry double down on the position. We knew that we needed it, I wasn't sure if he was going to do the overhaul of the receiving core right then and there, or probably just wait on it. He said, screw it. Let's just go ahead and jump for it now. Yeah. That was brilliant. A-plus pick for sure.
Yeah. And listen, we'll have Ryan Mosser tomorrow on the Sunday Morning Sports Show. I know he was extremely high on the Denzel Boston pick. He was really, really excited. If you follow him at Dynasty CLE, you know, on Twitter, or on X, whatever, he was vocally excited about this pick. So that makes me feel better. I know Ryan's got the algorithm. He's been doing all the work, man, studying all these prospects. So listen, if Ryan Mosser's excited about it, I'm excited about it. I'm not going to down.
Right.
I'm not going to talk down about that pick. I thought, Denzel Boston was a great pick for the Browns. Just surprised he was still there a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's the way these things go. And I'm glad that since he was there, the Browns did seem to jump and make the pick. And we can talk about some of the guys that haven't gone yet, because the best available board it's a little confusing at the top to me. But and it's an area where the Browns maybe could use some help. That's why I thought hopefully we can maybe jump back up into the fourth round and do something. But that's okay. I want to move on to this next pick. And listen, I'm going to bring it up. At pick number 58, Emmanuel McNeil Warren out of Toledo, the safety who some people quietly kind of referred to maybe as a poor man's Caleb Downs. Good football IQ, physical presence against the pass. Good, just like I said, good physical guy, good tackler. A really solid football player. Again, a little surprised he was available at 58, but he was. The Browns jumped on it. They took it. Yeah. We got to be feeling pretty good about this one, no?
Absolutely. I absolutely love this pick. Emmanuel McNeil Warren is a big safety. Ain't too many 6'4" safeties running around in college or the NFL or high school for that matter. So when you get a guy that's that size that does the things that he do, he can cover from sideline to sideline. He can be a hybrid in the run game as well. He is a solid hitter. He gets the football for his team. He is definitely a turnover machine. He did that a lot at the University of Toledo. I expect nothing to change. With the addition to this defense, you're putting more in the safety room. I expect him to start out as our slot guy. I expect him to give Miles Harden as big of a run for his money as humanly possible. And I expect him to be the week one starting corner.
I think the pup agrees back there too. I think, yeah. I mean, yeah, I think.
Yeah, so to have a guy like him in your defense that does the taking away of the ball that he does, that possesses the big hit ability, to have him as your slot corner to start off with, you can keep Ronnie Hickman and Grant Delpit back deep and just let him continue to develop in his game. Maybe he needs to brush up on his coverage skills a little bit. Maybe they just like his big hitting ability that much to where, we can run a 4-2-5, considering that we only really have two linebackers in Carson Schlesinger and Quincy Williams. I am not convinced JOK is coming back. So you can run a 4-2-5 and have him as the starting nickel, or you could possibly switch him and Ronnie Hickman or him and Grant Delpit. It really doesn't matter. Gives our defense added versatility, and this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to add guys that were going to make this defense improve as much as it possibly could. Was it one of the best defenses in the NFL? Yes, it was. Was it the best? No, that title goes to the Houston Texans.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So I definitely wanted to do something that would further cement us as one of the better defenses in the NFL, and this was a move that did it.
Yeah, for sure. I think he may start ahead of Ronnie Hickman now, but I think, with Grant Delpit and Ronnie Hickman becoming free agents at the end of the season, I think this was Andrew Berry learned, right? From, you ignored the offensive line, and you were going to have some problems there financially, whatever, contract-wise, whatever else. He didn't do that with the safeties. Let's go get McNeil Warren. Now you've got Emmanuel McNeil Warren in the mix. Like I said, he may start right away. He may start over Hickman. You said, in the nickel. I don't know. He may end up there too. Man, big guy, 6'3", 6'4", 200 pounds. Not super fast. He's not a burner. But I don't think you have to be a burner as a safety. I don't think that's not a requirement really. As long as he can kind of sit back and I mean, like I said, with Delpit and Hickman probably leaving, at least Delpit, I don't think would come back. I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I think they both may be gone. So now you've addressed that concern. Again, Andrew Berry. This is a great pick on a lot of different levels, and I'm impressed, man. I'm impressed. And we'll get to the last pick that the Browns made. You see it right there, round 3, pick 86, Austin Barber, tackle from Florida. And I've heard a little bit of some people say that he really projects only as a left tackle. I don't know how much versatility he has, to be honest with you. And if he does project only as a left tackle, he's probably here for depth. You don't expect him to come in and be a starter right away at 86, right? I don't know. I'm not sure what they'll do, but the thing about Barber is his strength. I've heard he's freakishly strong. That's the word on him right now. So how do you feel about Austin Barber? And are you a little bit disappointed that we didn't get the hair of Jennings Dunker with this pick? Now, keep in mind, Jennings Dunker had the red mullet that was available at pick number 86, and the Browns said no. He didn't even have to wear a helmet on the field. Okay, it exactly pretty much matched the Browns. He didn't even have to wear a helmet. They don't have to buy him a helmet. They just could have saved some money there. They don't take Jennings Dunker. Instead, they take Austin Barber. How you feeling about Barber at 86?
I really wasn't familiar with Austin Barber's game too much, but what I did see from him, other than what you had alluded to, is how strong he is. The guy is an absolute mauler at that left tackle position. Really, really good run blocker, likes to get up to the second level and make things happen. A decent pass protector, nothing to write home about. Definitely some improvement that needs to be made along the lines of that. But at the same time, he can move very well. He's 6'7", 320. So anytime you can get a guy that big that can move as well as he does and excels in the run game like he does, definitely something you want to kick the tires on a little bit more. He is a project. There is not any way that we should expect to see him this year. You may see him a little bit out there, pinch duty and, filling in like that. But as far as getting significant snaps on the Browns this season, you shouldn't expect that at all. This is a project pick, but a project pick that I do welcome. This is leaning more towards the future. Hey, 2 or 3 years down the line, we'll see how things work out with Titus Howard. Hopefully they do work out. If things don't, you think you're up to speed with the development of Austin Barber in year 2 or 3, maybe. Possibly you kick Spencer Fano back over to that right side, like Utah did when they got Caleb Lomu, and then make Austin Barber your left tackle there. So I definitely think this was a move geared towards the future. And this is what this draft has become for me. Obviously, you would think that was the clear consent for every NFL team was to build towards the future. But right now, I think with these last 3 picks, the Browns have really looked towards the future. Obviously, getting your future WR1 and Denzel Boston. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren is going to start somewhere, whether it's the nickel corner that I suggested or being one of the 2 safeties. He's going to start, and Austin Barber is expected to be the project at first, but hopefully will develop into a key contributor somewhere down the line. I do like this pick. I hated missing out on Jennings Dunker. I hate it even more that he's going to stay in black and gold and be a damn Steeler. But whatever. I do like this kid Barber from Florida. I definitely think he will develop into a solid pro if given the right context. We have a wonderful offensive line coach in George Warhop. Hopefully he plans to spend a lot of time with this young kid, work out some of those kinks, get that technique up to par. Thought it was a solid pick.
Yeah, and you said it, George Warhop. I think that's what. So I keep forgetting, and I have to remind myself that all these new offensive linemen aren't just coming into the Browns franchise, which has struggled since Bill Callahan left. That's obvious. But we've got George Warhop, which I think is just a lot of people consider 1A, 1B. As far as Barber, he's got some experience at right tackle. I think he can play there. I don't know why the projection only at left tackle. I've seen that from numerous people. I don't know. I'm not sure. Again, I'm like you. I wasn't totally familiar with his game. Don't watch a lot of Florida football, to be honest with you. So it's hard for me to come in and really give a definite, draft projection or an on-field projection for Barber. We'll just have to see how it develops under Warhop. I mean, again, if it's not Bill Callahan, a lot of people say, hey, George Warhop's the guy you want there with working with your offensive lineman. So I think that's certainly exciting. I think we'll see this offensive line come in and a whole new offensive line, brand new identity, all new depth, all new versatility. We've got a lot of different pieces and parts that you can mess around with and try to figure out what works. And hopefully, Coach Warhop can get them coached up, develop them, and get some progress and figure out this offensive line sooner than later. You fill in behind that. You figure out who's going to be the quarterback. Quinshon Judkins gets healthy. You work with Denzel Boston. Where does he fit? Where does Concepcion go? Does Jerry Jeudy ever really catch a football again? We'll never know. Well, we'll know. But, maybe he's gone. Who knows? I mean, maybe that's part of getting back up into the fourth round today because the next pick that they have now, I mean, it's going to be, later on, the fifth round. They've got some top picks in the fifth round, but, I mean, there's still a lot of good guys on this board, and I think that's what I want to talk to you about now. We can get back into maybe some of your bigger surprises, and we'll just talk about the first round because I think that's where the big surprises lie. But right now, we've got a couple of corners at the top of, if you look at the best available, and I'm looking at ESPN.com. So we've got Jermod McCoy, who I know he has some injury concerns, but I'm shocked that he's still on the board. I can't believe no one took a flyer on him in the third round. I maybe the medicals don't, quite project him being healthy yet, or maybe who knows? I mean, maybe there's a concern there. Jermod McCoy, I feel like, is a great player to still be there, and Keontae Scott from Miami it's a little surprising to me that he's still on the board. The Browns could use some corner help. We talked about, maybe the opening in the nickel if they have, for just ideas for McNeil Warren to be the safety only. Did they try to trade up and take a guy like Jermod McCoy or Keontae Scott? And at this point, if you take him in the fourth round, aren't you? I mean, you're pretty happy about that, right? This is where you take a flyer on a guy.
You're ecstatic about that. But both of these guys are still available.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand the injury concerns are scary. Maybe you don't want to invest a first-round pick in something like that.
Yeah.
And listen, as good as he was at the University of Tennessee, I would have done it. Obviously, not top 10 or top 15 or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get him later on in that first round, maybe in the 20s or something like that.
Yeah.
That's still value. He was really that good.
Yeah.
I honestly think right behind Mansour Delane, who really I don't even think was the best corner.
I
really don't.
Atlanta is the guy, so hey.
Yeah, Atlanta bailed themselves out and got AJ Terrell's little brother, Avion, with the 48th overall pick. That was my guy.
Okay.
I had him going top 10. In my mock draft, I thought he was that good. I thought New Orleans could have used him.
Yeah.
Especially after losing Alontae Taylor.
I wasn't surprised the Saints take a receiver there, though. I really wasn't.
Yeah, for sure. Jordan Tyson's going to be great for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, after seeing Alontae Taylor get paid out the wazoo by the Tennessee Titans, I'm like, well, you might want to replace that real quick. But they passed on it. But I definitely think a guy like Jermod McCoy on any defense is going to be great. And listen, this is a guy that you can redshirt for a year. Go ahead and heal that injury. Make sure you knock this rehab out, and we'll see how you're feeling in 2027. You could be a key contributor then. But if his rehab somehow speeds up and he's up to stuff this year, listen, at this point, this is beyond value. You're stealing at this point, and nobody cares to do anything about it. This is basically all this is. So, yeah, you take him, man. You're getting a baller. You're getting a guy that you could possibly redshirt if the injury is to the severity that we think it may be. I definitely think he could be ready for training camp, but, I'm just some guy, so I don't really know the entire scoop of everything. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, at this point, you're basically stealing. Go ahead and take a flyer on the kids. You ain't missing out. Yeah. Well, you will miss out if you don't take a flyer, better yet. So,
Well, and I'm looking. The Jets have this third pick in the fourth round, and the Jets could use a corner. Maybe Keontae Scott and McCoy go there. I think somebody's gonna be very happy. Again, maybe the medicals aren't there for McCoy. Maybe you look at the medical report on him and you go, there's something there that's really concerning. Because I'm surprised. I'm just really sort of shocked. I mean, they have ESPN.com has him ranked as the 16th overall prospect, second overall corner, and still on the board at pick 101 here. With the Raiders.
Crazy.
Yeah, a little surprised. Listen, let's take a quick break. We got to take a break. We'll be back in just about 5, maybe 6 minutes here on the Inside Edge Network. One thing I want to do, I want to talk to you about some first round surprises. There were a couple that I know during our draft special here that Ryan and David, there was one pick that Ryan and David were shocked about. I couldn't believe it. I think everybody in the room, there was a whole host of people down here. It was funny. We had so many windows open on StreamYard, but everyone was just kind of looking around like, what?
Yeah.
It was a little surprising. And we'll
a lot of people were surprised by that one, huh?
Yeah, and we'll definitely talk about that when we get back. We'll let you know what that is when we get back here in just a moment. Right here on the Inside Edge Network. you're searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and player. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, but you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Clean energy, bold flavors, no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash, helps you lock in and focus. Over 15 absolute fire flavors to choose from. Visit Dubby.gg and use promo code InsideEdge10. All right. Well, so much for the Browns moving up in the fourth round to get Jermod McCoy. He is going to be a Las Vegas Raider. TK, I had to fight the urge to say an Oakland Raider. I almost said it. You know how many times I'm gonna do that over the next couple of years, probably.
Son, they've ruined the entire mystique that is the damn Raiders. Listen, man, I would have preferred you guys move back to LA than to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
Now you guys are all cute and shit for no reason. And sports gambling is taking over the world, and it's just weird. But whatever.
I don't know. They might as well be the FanDuel Raiders. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, I'm having a hard time with Las Vegas. It doesn't roll off my tongue. LA Raiders, that's fine. I didn't love LA when I was a kid. I said, man, I want them to go back to Oakland. And then
right. Oakland Raiders is quintessential. Yes.
It worked. Perfect. It was perfect. And now Oakland has no professional sports. I mean, they have nothing. They're
one of the brokest cities in America.
Man, it's sad. It's sad. They had the Raiders. They had the Athletics. It was perfect, man. They even had,
they had the Warriors.
Yeah, the Golden State was there. Whatever. Times change, I guess. I'm getting old. Whatever. And so, speaking of getting old, a couple of picks. I don't know how this even segues into getting old, but a couple of picks in the first round that really, I guess, aged me a little bit when I saw them go down. There, that's how it segues into getting old. I did it. So, and the first one, TK, I think happened at pick number 13. What in the world? How did I don't even know how to say. I don't want to seem like I'm dumping on Ty Simpson. I just don't think he was worth a 13th in the draft.
Right.
Listen, if the Rams have identified him as the guy of the future, they've got a pretty good quarterback there right now who, like you said, after the draft, may be there for another 3 years. So you've got a 3-year project. I mean, at that time, the rookie contract is almost up for Ty Simpson. Did the Ty Simpson pick at 13 make any sense to you? It didn't make any sense to me. I'm confused. I'm really confused by it. I feel like he would have been there on day 2. I don't know. Whatever.
To be quite honest, the pick made a ton of sense to me. This is a life without Matthew Stafford type pick. This is exactly what this is. Let's just call it for what it is. I definitely think the general consensus was, listen, this young man is a solid football player. He does possess a lot of the intangibles, tongue twister because I can't talk, which you would covet from your quarterback. But at the same time, I think, how things ended last season, people were kind of turned off by it. But I definitely still thought he was a first-round talent. Maybe not a top 10 pick. Definitely didn't want him at 6. But, at the same time, I definitely thought he was a good enough player. If the Rams weren't going to take him, I definitely thought Pittsburgh was going to be on the radar for a quarterback. You really don't feel like going through the saga again with Aaron Rodgers. Like, dude, you're going to be 4-3 at the end of the year. We don't care that much. So this is preparing for that life without Matthew Stafford. You have the best coach in the NFL as far as being able to develop a quarterback and get the best out of him. And you got the youngest guy in NFL history that has his own damn head coaching tree. What better place to send that young man than to Los Angeles to work with Sean McVay, Cliff Kingsbury, and Nathan Shieldhouse?
Yeah.
What better place in the world for that young man to land? Made complete sense to me. Now, when you think about a team like the Los Angeles Rams, who are playoff ready, Super Bowl contenders, if you will, they definitely lost a heartbreaker in the NFC Championship. So they ain't thinking about no young cat right now. This is a franchise that vehemently said, F them damn picks for years and won a slew of games because of it, obviously winning a Super Bowl in 2021. So yeah, I definitely think, hey, let's get ready for that life without 9. We get this young man in here, we get him up to stuff, tell him all the ins and outs about the NFL, develop him. I know the best way for your guys to develop is to get playing time. He's sitting, not watching. I've heard all of it. Listen, some of the best quarterbacks ever have sat there behind absolute legends, and became pretty damn good players themselves. Green Bay.
That used to be even coming for first-round picks. I mean, first-round picks would sit a year or two.
There you go. Green Bay seems to do it all the time. They've been doing it for 30, 40 years. So, this made complete sense. You guys don't want no young cat contributing to an already built juggernaut anyway. They basically got the 13th overall pick because Atlanta is idiotic and they gift wrapped it to them. So, hey, why not use this to invest in our future? I don't want to go out here looking for no quarterback after Matt hangs it up. Matt hangs it up. So we got him in our backyard. That pick made absolutely complete sense to me.
Okay. I was confused. Do you think the Rams thought maybe the Cardinals would take him? Cardinals, they took Carson Beck in round 3. You think they thought the Cardinals would maybe ID? Yes. Okay, Ty Simpson is the guy.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So maybe that's why they didn't let him go to the second day. That makes sense.
Absolutely.
I can understand that. It's wild to me to look at, in a very quarterback-centric league, we had a quarterback go at 1 and 13, right? And then I'm looking through and I'm scrolling, nothing in the second round. I mean, that's wild. Like 2 quarterbacks in the top 64 picks was surprising to me.
So 2 quarterbacks in the first 104 picks.
Fair. Yeah.
This QB class is dog water, son. And I remember thinking,
we got Carson Beck at 65, though. You got Carson Beck at 65. So there is a third one there.
Yeah. Okay, so 3 in the first.
Yeah, but still, your point stands. No, your point stands. Yeah. Nope.
Right, but still 3 quarterbacks in the first.
Well, and Drew Aller. I forgot about Drew Aller, too. Drew Aller went to Pittsburgh.
Oh, crap.
That was pick number
7. So 4.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So we can't make fun too much.
Well, we got to ease off. We can't be bullies. We got to ease off.
Right. And, I definitely saw somebody taking a flyer on Drew Aller. I heard a lot of guys say 5th round, 6th round. I'm like, no, he's going to go before that. He's going to go before that. Okay. Well, he's got the size. He's got the skill set. He's won games at Penn State. Bro, somebody's going to take a flyer on him. And obviously, the Pittsburgh Steelers deemed him.
Well, before the season, I think he was considered maybe a top 10 guy. Penn State was a national title contender. Drew Aller had started to figure it out. There was a lot of progress from year one. Year 1 at Penn State did not go well at all for Drew Aller. If you remember, anytime he was under pressure, he would throw the ball. And not trying to throw the ball away. He would throw the ball 2 or 3 rows deep into the stands. I mean, he had happy feet. Accuracy was a problem. He was very, very uneasy in the pocket. But I thought he developed pretty well. I thought they did a nice job of developing him. James Franklin didn't win the big games, never did. But I thought they developed Drew Aller well, better than Christian Hackenberg when he was there at Penn State. So whatever. Hackenberg he was coming out of high school. He was assured like he was going to be the number 1 pick in the draft at some point, and that just never really panned out. So I don't know. As far as first round surprises, I guess the only other one to me that was a little bit of a reach. And if you look at ESPN.com's ranking, it wasn't much of a reach, but the Dolphins took Aiden Proctor at 12, right before Ty Simpson. And that wasn't a huge surprise to me or a shock or anything, but I thought it was a pretty big reach at the time. But ESPN.com has him ranked as their 17th best prospect, so not a huge reach at 12. The Dolphins must see something that nobody else did, because a lot of other teams, I think, didn't even really have Proctor on their radar, and there were a lot of tackles that went in that first round. But I mean, do you see Proctor being a worth the 12th pick overall, or do you think that's a little bit of a reach for the Dolphins?
All right, here's the thing. This is one of the teams that I wanted to talk to you about as far as, surprises and what I felt about the draft.
Okay.
Miami's first round was not necessarily as bad as it was confusing.
Okay. Yeah.
Now I do understand the Caden Proctor pick to an extent.
Okay.
He is a very talented lineman. Obviously, the size turns you on. But again, the size scares me too. Yeah. Because Caden Proctor, to me, kind of mirrors that Mekhi Becton, DeJuan Jones build.
Yeah.
6'9", 360. Yeah, he's uber athletic.
Yeah.
If you were to look at him, you wouldn't think he was 360 pounds. He carries it very well. But at the same time, it's like a little bit of inconsistencies at the University of Alabama.
Yeah.
Not a bad player, but just not necessarily dominant as a lot of people tried to project him to be. Now, I do understand why this selection was made. The Miami Dolphins have a very middling offensive line. Now, while I do question both of the tackles in Patrick Paul and Austin Jackson, I do think they are solid enough to be 17-game starters for a franchise like the Miami Dolphins, who are currently in the midst of a brand new rebuild. Jeff Hafley's running the show. Malik Willis is going to be the starting quarterback. To get mandibular on the offensive line with your first selection, I thought was very responsible by John Eric Sullivan and company out there in South Beach to attack that first. Now, would I have taken Caden Proctor at 12? Probably not. But it is not the reach that people are thinking of it to be. This is still a very athletic young man at 360 pounds. And at 6'9", so you're going to be able to solidify the offensive line. You figure out which guard spot that you want him to be at, because they're going to entrench both of those guys. Like I said, Patrick Paul and Austin Jackson are going to be the bookend tackles for the Miami Dolphins. Jonah Sabanai had a rough year as the left guard. They're still going to give him another chance. He was a second-round pick last year. Yeah. You have a borderline All-Pro center in Aaron Brewer. I think the general consensus of this pick, Caden Proctor is going to be our starting right guard for the foreseeable future. Fine. You did the right thing there. With the 27th overall selection.
I was going to ask you about, yep.
When they reached for San Diego State cornerback Chris Johnson Jr., Listen, good kid, great player, quick off his feet, great instincts, can do press, can do the man, can do zone, solid guy.
Yeah.
Not anything that this young man does is dominant, and was not dominant enough to warrant a first-round selection. Okay. Now, I know a lot of people say, hey, if this guy is a second-rounder or has second-round talent or somehow falls to the second round or what have you, you can be a first-round pick if guys love you enough. And the Miami Dolphins seem to fall in love with Chris Johnson quite quickly. So, again, look, I understand where it came from. You guys were enamored with the talent, with the size that he brought. He's already going to be the best corner in Miami as soon as he walks in the door. So, not that bad of a pick. But when you look at how this offense of the Miami Dolphins is constructed right now, we just talked about the offensive line. You want to get to those skill position guys. Your best wide receiver right now is Malik Washington.
Well, don't worry, TK. They took Caleb Douglas in the third round. Everything's fine from Texas.
Yeah, Caleb Douglas is going to be nice. They also got Chris Bell.
I thought that was a reach too. I mean, he's okay. He's a good player, but man, he would have been there on probably round 4.
He would have been there today. Deep into the 4th, probably in the 5th. But hey, listen. You wanted to attack right? Exactly. You wanted to attack the receiving core somehow, some way. Yeah. But you wanted to build the team first. Which, hey, look, I get it. Rebuild. You got to build the team first. You can't be position biased when you are in a rebuild. This damn thing was torn down for a reason. You need resources to build it back up. So
yeah,
I get the pieces
I'm
there.
surprised with the 75th overall pick. You take the 191st overall ranked player, though. That's
Yeah.
a long reach. I mean, the Dolphins took a long reach there, but we'll see.
Yeah, but hopefully the young man could be somewhat of a find for them. And like I said, man, their best receiver right now is Malik Washington, who was primarily a gadget guy and a punt returner. We all remember the 74-yard whirlwind punt return that he had against the Patriots earlier this season. But does that translate to him being the number one guy? And then you look at the receiving core in its entirety. Malik Washington Jr., Tutu Atwell, you have Terrace Marshall. Terrace Marshall, when's the last time he was on an NFL roster? When's the last time he made a catch?
Yeah, man.
Theo Weiss Jr., are we serious right now? Greg Dulcich is your number one tight end.
Yeah, at least in Douglas, you have a guy who's 6'3" and ran a 4.39 40 at the combine. At least there's that.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, it's like, you get a little size with Chris Bell. Obviously, the Caleb Douglas pick is going to, you're going to have to wait on that. But yeah, the overall talent that you possess in your pass catching room is extremely underwhelming for a guy that you expect to be your future, at least your immediate future for the next 3 years. You gave him $68 million to be your quarterback. Not only is he going to be running around for his life because no one could get open, and the receiver core is just so underwhelming. I understand you still have 28. Devon Achane is diet Marshall Faulk. We'll just go ahead and say that right now. This guy is absolutely incredible. He does everything for their football team.
Sugar free or no?
Say it again.
Sugar free too? Sugar free Marshall Faulk or no?
Oh yeah, no artificial preservatives, none of that.
Zero calories.
Yeah. There you go.
Let's do it.
Still all the deliciousness of the regular product. But still, it's like, listen, not only are you going to run your starting quarterback into the ground, hell, Devon Achane is going to be possibly overused. Hopefully you don't get a Ricky Williams situation where, he just quits at the end of the season and says, you know what, you guys still haven't gotten the quarterback situation figured out. You guys seriously thought you were going to go from Jay Fiedler to AJ Feely and thought I was going to stay. You really thought that was going to work. You had me there. You had me there, buddy. But it's just a lot of questions going around in Miami. Like I said, I don't think the draft was bad. I just thought it was confusing.
Yeah.
It's very confusing. You thought, hey, we can still upgrade the offensive line. This is a very deep class. It's a deep receiver class as well. And I'm thinking, okay, at 12, Mekhi Lemon. I'm sitting up here watching this kid, not only his highlights, but you look at him and how he took that combine head on. You're like, boy, whatever team gets him, all of East Los Angeles is going to come up out of that boy, and he is going to catch everything. Yeah. So I definitely thought that would have been a pick.
Yeah, like a competitive kid, man. Yeah.
But yeah, to get Caden Proctor, solid pick. Kind of a reach, but not the reach that people are thinking of. Okay. Chris Johnson, I thought, was the big reach, but again, he is going to be their CB1. So is it really a reach if the guy is going to seamlessly make his mark early? I really don't think so.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, guys, we got to get out of here. I hope I'm your CB1. That's me. I'm CB. I'm Chad Bryan. Hey, I do want to remind you that our draft surprises segment was brought to you by Monster Moments. I want to hear from them before we get out of here. So let's hear from Monster Moments for a moment, a moment or two. I will be right back after this quick word from one of our favorite sponsors. We'll be right back. Monster Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Ryan and Hallie Mosser. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio, but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MosserMomentsPhotography.com. All right. Well, definitely do that. All of our sponsors are our favorite sponsors, but yeah, I just real quick, I want to say we're through 8 picks now in the 4th round. Keontae Scott still on the board. He's still on the board. So I don't know. Maybe we see Andrew Berry and company try to not for necessarily for Keontae Scott, but for someone. Maybe we see them try to trade up to get back up into the 4th round. All those 5th round picks, a lot of picks at the top of the 5th round. You can certainly add some depth there. I feel like Andrew Berry's thing is stacking picks. I don't know if you necessarily want to stack them in the 5th round, but he does a decent job of finding undrafted free agents as well. I think you have some concerns on special teams that the Browns need to look at going forward. Maybe not necessarily this year. We'll see what they do with that. Hopefully, we don't draft a kicker in the 5th round. Not do that. But yeah, I think that's about it. Do you have any other big surprises in the 1st round, or is that Chris Johnson, Caden Proctor, a little bit of a surprise for me, not for you? I thought Chris Johnson was a surprise that came out of nowhere for me. Anything else before we get out of here, TK?
Nope, not much. I think we pretty much covered everything, as much as we can so far with the draft still going on. But
all right,
definitely think we did well.
All right. Well, hey, I'm gonna put up our April schedule real quick for the Inside Edge Network. We just got a few days left here in April. Like I said, it's the 25th. It's my wedding anniversary, 17th. So as always, yeah, we'll be with you tomorrow on the Sunday morning sports show. Myself, TK, and Ryan Moster. We're gonna get Ryan Moster's reaction to the rest of some of this draft that we haven't heard from him on. Of course, we got Real Talk with Papa Moon coming up a little bit later at 5 p.m. That'll drop. And you can see the whole schedule. Sunday night, main event with Robert Zicki, Eli Moon, and program director Double A, Anthony Alford. Eli and I'll be back with you on primetime Monday through Thursday at 10 o'clock. Although it may change with some Cavs stuff going on this week. It's always subject to change a little bit, but that's the schedule. I mean, you can see it right there. Jersey Chasers on Wednesdays at 7:30. Mike Check, Take Two. We got so many shows. We've even got a brand new show, Unfiltered, with Kyle Cornell that just aired yesterday at 5 p.m. So a lot of really, really good stuff, a lot of exciting stuff. We're starting to fill up all the hours of the day, TK, with all kinds of programming here on the Inside Edge Network. There's so much more coming. This has been so much fun. We're building from the ground up. We're still very young. We are an infant as far as that goes. We're less than a year old. So remember to follow us at all socials at Inside Edge Net. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on X. We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok. So please, if you appreciate what we do, if you, we appreciate you rocking with us. We had almost 1,000 people the other night between the draft special and our Cavs post game, which was mostly a draft reaction because what was really talk about a Cavs blowout, but that's okay. We had almost 1,000 people that stayed with us live all night. That was amazing to me. I mean, we had 9.5 hours of programming on the network. Amazing. So the fact that everyone was in there and stayed for so long, I feel like that means that we're doing something the right way. So if you're watching, you appreciate us, please follow on all of our socials. Just real quick, just kind of cruise across and search at Inside Edge Net, and there you'll find us. So for TK Dandridge, I'm Chad Bryan. We are out of here. Enjoy your Saturday. We, the two of us, with Ryan Moster, see you tomorrow morning on the Sunday morning sports show. Have a good Saturday, guys.